Hi everyone, we have Lauren Arkin, SE and HRO from Long Island, and we have our hot seat questions for her. So number one, Lauren, what comes to mind when you hear women's history?
So there's a lot that comes to mind when I hear women's history. There's been so many powerful and influential women in our history. I love that we have the International Women Month to really look at that and celebrate that. You have some of the best leaders, Margaret Thatcher, Queen Victoria. You have people that have been so influential like Golda Meir. You have Rosa Parks and Mother Teresa that have had such an impact on people's lives. So you have that great part when you really think about women in history. But the funny part is too, in America, we are a little behind, I think, in where we could be. So the women really haven't come into the workplace and didn't even have the right to vote until the past 100 years when you think about that. So I know women really kind of emerged in the workplace around World War II, and then when the men came back, they got their pink slips and they went back into the home, and then they really didn't reemerge into the workforce until the 60s and 70s. And even since then, it's been a struggle as far as pay equity, women that have children and getting, leave time. So it's definitely been a struggle, and something also when you think of women's history that we still have a long way to go here.
That's awesome, thank you. Reflecting on your career, who is the woman that had the most influence?
Okay, so I actually, sold an ADP for major accounts down in Florida. And I came up to Long Island. I was 26 years old and became an SE for Total Source, managing a team. And coming to the Northeast, I was very surprised. Even in the office, there were no women leaders, no women VPs, not a lot of even women DMs between all of the business units, whether it be national accounts, major accounts, Total Source, SBS, just very, very small amount. And being a new leader, I was really trying to find my voice and find my way. And about 3 years in, we had somebody come in who was a VP, and it was, the first really woman leader besides myself coming into the office. And she was so impactful and I think really inspiring for me for so many reasons, because she really helped create a culture and bring so much more diversity to the workplace. And with that, retention definitely spiked, and more women leadership, came into play. We had women leadership in ASO, we had women leadership in major accounts, as well as the division she was in too. And she really also had a great way about, demanding the room, and being able to, really have influence, and really a lot of positivity around women in leadership, helping start, a group that we still have to this day. So it was really inspiring for me and really helped me, Thanks, Meg.
Awesome, thank you for sharing. So what career advice would you offer women, and describe some of the actions that, she could take?
Okay, so the biggest career advice I would say is, one thing that I did when I went into leadership, I kind of automatically assumed, or even when I was in sales, that if I put my head down and I work hard, that automatically people would notice my efforts, and that I would be, automatically assumed or tapped on the shoulder for a promotion, and that my numbers or my success would speak for itself. And I really learned that that's not the case. And one thing that I would really advise for women, because I know sometimes it can be hard for us to, sit there and say, I'm great at this, or bragging or telling your story, but you do have to find a way to tell your story. And I also think it's so important to network internally as well as externally, find ways to network with other women, get a mentor, get advice, get, really involved, and find a way to really have stretch assignments, because I think sometimes too, you could have a great number, but people always look behind it and say, well, it's because of this or this. And when you do things like stretch assignments, it really shows your strengths outside of just the number and why you get to where you are. And that can really, help promote your brand.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. What do you believe is the opinion of females in the workplace, and how would you guide women to overcome the perception or to further it?
So I think a common perception of women in the workplace, there's something called like the likability conundrum, and a lot of people have written about it, and I definitely believe in it, that because of gender norms, women are expected to kind of behave in a certain way, and when we don't, unlike our male counterparts that are seen as strong or commanding the room, we could be known as ice queens when we're very capable and competent of doing our job, or authoritative. So I think some of the ways that you can overcome that is just to understand that that is a common misconception when you are competent in your job, and try to find ways to really connect with people more. So you do have that side, but then you're connecting in another way to show your softer side. And unfortunately, you might have to do it a little bit more than your male counterparts. But I think those small touches can go a long way, and women's emotional intelligence overall can really help us, as far as diversity and overall with the business.
Thank you so much. And lastly, how can female associates garner sponsorship from male and female senior leadership?
So the biggest way to get sponsorship is through your brand. And they say having a sponsor, you're 23% more likely to get promoted than if you don't have a sponsor. So it is something that's so important, and it's really, gained by branding yourself. So doing things, I think the biggest thing is like content creation at the end of the day. The more that you can really, try to share your ideas, doing the stretch assignments that we were talking about before, ways that you can help other people and show how you've had success. Also have people that you mentor, whether it be official or unofficial, to help strengthen them and build them up. I think that's a way to really improve your brand versus just the automatic of sharing your story. So I think that's really a great way that you can splash your brand out there and get more sponsors.
Great. Thank you so much, Lauren Arkin, HRO SE of Long Island.